back to Movies on the Brain, your go-to channel for in-depth movie reviews. Today we're diving into a film that takes us on a journey through the deserts of Saudi Arabia and the labyrinth of human connections. I'm Jason, and this is my spoiler review of A Hologram for the King, directed by Tykwer, known for his visually captivating storytelling. This film stars the incomparable Tom Hanks. Join me as we explore the themes, performances, and intricate narrative of this unique cinematic experience. Remember, this review contains spoilers, so if you haven't seen the movie yet, consider watching it first and then coming back to join the discussion. Let's get started. Now let's see how it did in the box office. Hologram for the King opened in theaters domestically on April 22nd, 2016 with a budget of $35 million. During its 11-week theatrical run, it earned a total of $4.2 million domestically and $4.9 million internationally, earning a total of $9.1 million worldwide. Its opening weekend saw it earn $1.1 million domestically, finishing number 11 in the box office, behind the likes of Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice, which was at number 6, Zootopia, number 4, The Huntsman: Winter's War, number 2, and also opened the same weekend, and 2016's The Jungle Book, which was at number 1. The final weekend in the box office saw it earn $9,299 domestically, finishing its box office run at number 69. Now let's get into the plot. The American salesman Alan Clay is sent to sell a holographic teleconferencing device to the Saudi government by overseeing a presentation for the King of Saudi Arabia. Clay was offered the job solely because once he met a nephew of the king. Clay is haunted by a previous job at the Schwinn bicycle company where he oversaw the outsourcing of the production to China, which led to hundreds of layoffs in the U.S. He is also depressed by the messy and costly divorce, which leaves him unable to afford to send his daughter to college. Oversleeping on his first day in Jeddah due to jet lag, he misses the shuttle bus to the king's metropolis of economy and trade, a largely unfinished planned city in the desert, where Clay is scheduled to give his sales presentation. He hires a driver, Yusuf, who describes being in love with a woman whose wealthy and jealous husband has led Yusuf to fear for his life. After arriving, Clay is informed that neither the king nor his direct contact, Karim Al-Ahmed, are there. Clay's team is placed in a tent outside the office building, which lacks food and workable internet access. Clay repeatedly oversleeps and calls Yusuf repeatedly to drive him to the development. They become closer as during the long drives. At the development, he is repeatedly put off and confined to the tent. One day, he slips into the building and meets Danish executive Han. She is sympathetic to his plight, but cannot help get contact with the king or Karim Al-Ahmed. She offers him alcohol disguised as olive oil, which Clay has missed since arriving in Saudi Arabia. That night, Clay gets drunk and tries to cut open a lump on his back, waking the next day covered with blood from the cut. He goes into a hospital where he develops an immediate connection with Zara, the doctor treating him. She performs a biopsy and asks him to return in a few days. After more days without progress, Clay is invited by Han to a party at the Danish consulate, where she unsuccessfully tries to seduce him. The next day, after the tent's air conditioning breaks, Clay becomes upset. He again slips into the office building and finally meets Karim Al-Ahmed. Karim assures Clay that he will take care of the team's problems, but cannot give him a date for the presentation. He shows Clay a new, totally empty condominium development. Back in Jeddah, Clay has a panic attack at his hotel. Mistaking it for a stroke, he calls Zara and Yusuf. Yusuf, arriving shortly after Zara, notices how close they are, and after she leaves, chastises Alan for endangering her by making advances, which Clay vehemently denies. Yusuf confesses the jealous husband has threatened him and flees to his hometown in the mountains for the weekend to let things cool down. Clay accompanies him, passing through Mecca, a city prohibited to non Muslims. After returning, Clay learns his lump contains precancerous cells and should be removed the next day. When returning to the development, Clay notices the technical problems had been resolved and successfully gives the king this presentation. However, soon after, Clay learns that the Saudis have made a deal with a Chinese company which can offer a similar product at a cheaper rate. The next day, the operation begins with an unknown male doctor, but at the last moment, Zara takes over, to Clay's delight. After the procedure, Clay and Zara exchange increasingly personal and intimate emails, which culminate in a secret meeting. They talk about their family, and Zara explains she has children and is going through a messy divorce. They are driven to Zara's beach house, where they go swimming and sleep together. Clay writes to his daughter telling her that the deal was unsuccessful, that he has taken a well-paid job selling condominiums in the unfinished city, which will allow him to pay college for her, and has found a new positive force in his life with Zara. Now let's take a look at the cast and some of the other roles they've had. There's Tom Hanks as Alan Clay. Other roles for Tom Hanks includes Stanley Zach in Asteroid City, Otto in A Man Called Otto, and Colonel Tom Parker in Elvis. Omar Elba as Yusuf. Other roles for Omar Elba include Salim in Berlin, I Love You, Mark Green in the TV show Limetown, and Samir Najir in the TV movie Mo. Sarita Choudhury as Zara Hakim. Other roles for Sarita Choudhury include Lee Moldalver in the TV show Fallout, Mother in The Green Knight, and Lilith in the TV show The Path. Sidsi Babbitt Knudsen as Han. Other roles for Sidsi Babbitt Knudsen include Eva in Sons, Miss Dorset in Club Zero, and Sarah in The Eternal Road. David Menken as Brad. Other roles for David Menken include Lepic in the First Descendant video game, Big Sam in the As Dusk Falls video game, and the Hammer of God in the TV show The Sandman. Megan Mazzocco as Rachel. Other roles for Megan Mazzocco include Emma in the Beast Within video game, Liz Carmen in Archites video game, and Evelyn Allen in Me and Orson Welles. Christy Meyer as Kaylee. Other roles for Christy Meyer include Georgina Zimbinski in the Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Library video game, Francesca Bloom in the Dead Island 2 video game, and Rhea in the Horizon Zero Dawn video game. Tracy Farraway as Kitty Clay. Other roles for Tracy Farraway include Nicole in Aquarians, Hannah in This Is Us, and Ellie in Patchwork. Eric Myers as Eric Randall. Other roles for Eric Myers include David Pike in Woman in Gold, The Glove in the Atomic Heart video game, and Kay in the Xenoblade Chronicles 2 video game. Jane Perry as Ruby. Other roles for Jane Perry include Ava Johnson in Max Beyond, Celine in the video game Returnal, and Mrs. Vaughn in Phantom Thread. Khalid Laith as Kareem Ahmed. Other roles for Khalid Laith include Theories Aid in World War Z, Khalid in Jin, and Al Said in Red 2. Amira El Said as Maha. Other roles for Amira El Said include Glory in Hotel Rock and Roll, Ann Williams in the TV show Hannah, and Sophia in the TV show Spy Master. Abdullah Al Muslimani as Salem. This has been Abdullah Al Muslimani's only role. Jay Abdo as Dr. Haddad. Other roles for Jay Abdo include Papa Homsi in The Stranger's Case, Muhammad in Ski, and Hamid in Firstborn. Waleed El Ghadi as Saeed. Other roles for Waleed El Ghadi include Theseus in the TV show Alexander The Making of a God, Claudius and Julius Caesar, and Khalid in Four Lions. Jafar La Abedin as Hassan. Other roles for Jafar La Abedin includes Samael in the Secret World video game and Fairs Dahahir in the TV show of Beirut. Zaydan uh, Khalaf as Muhammad. Other roles for Zaydan Khalaf include Emir's aide in Wonder Woman 1984 and Balathu in the Dark Pictures House of Ashes. Ben, Wish, ben Whishaw as Dave. Other roles for Ben Whishaw include Q in Skyfall, Paddington in the Paddington franchise, and Danny in the TV show London Spy. Tom Skerritt as Ron. Other roles for Tom Skerritt include Dex in Catch the Bullet, Ben Givens in East of the Mountains, and Fred in Lucky. When I first saw this movie on Max while I was compiling my list, all I saw was the cover and the title, so all I knew Tom Hanks was in it, and the name of the movie had me stumped, honestly. When I finally watched it, I read the description on Max, and it mentioned that the movie takes place in Saudi Arabia, so I was intrigued. Tom Hanks was great in this, as were Omar Elba and Sarita Tadhari. The chemistry between Tom Hanks and both of the actors I just mentioned was really great. The romance between Alan and Yusuf and the romance between Alan and Zara were both really fun to watch, I thought. Alan jokingly telling Muhammad he worked for the CIA and Muhammad freaking out was a fun little scene. I love how Yusuf and Zara were constantly asking Alan questions. It fleshed out all three characters in a great way, I thought. It's definitely a romantic comedy, heavy on the romance with some sprinkling of humor, especially when Yusuf is involved. I do have one question though. From the time we see Zara and Alan swim together at the end, from swim together to the end, did Zara's divorce get finalized? I would assume so, but let me know in the comments if you know the answer. If you want a good rom-com with an interesting story and a fun cast, this is one that should be on your radar. Now let's check out some fun facts and trivia about this movie. It was filmed mostly in Morocco. Only some exterior shots were taken in Riyadh. In 2012, Tom Hanks gave a rave review to the source novel written by Dave Eggers. This is the second collaboration between Tom Hanks, Tom Tykwer, and Ben Whishaw. The first was Cloud Atlas. Not only does Tom Hanks finding love while snorkeling refer back to Splash, in both films his character has a similar name, Alan, and Alan spelled differently. Alan's daughter is named Kit in this film. Kit is also the name of a pitcher in A League of Their Own, which also stars Tom Hanks. And that's a wrap on our journey through A Hologram for the King. Just like Alan found a new beginning amidst the uncertainties, we too explored the twists and turns of this unique story. If you enjoyed this review, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Movies on the Brain. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. How did the film resonate with you? Remember, every end is a new beginning. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you in the next review.